Hi, this is attorney Eric Trabin. I'm a former Florida State prosecutor, and currently I'm a private criminal defense attorney serving all of Central Florida at the Lucid Legal law firm. Today, we're actually going to go to the classic early 2000s series of Justice League. This is the Paul Dini series, right? Paul Dini? Yeah. This is the classic Justice League series, critically acclaimed and award-winning series. And in this particular episode, it's actually the first episode after their pilot. It involves my favorite character, Green Lantern. The name of the episode is In Blackest Night. It's actually going to be a two-part episode, so you're in for a treat here. So we've got first Justice League In Blackest Night, Part 1, where we can learn about what kind of crime did Green Lantern get accused of doing, and what might go different if he had a lawyer involved. Oh, I love that sound too, right? Cold open. Let's see what's going on.
Order! We will have order!
Already sounds like a courtroom.
Silence!
That's a great way to start court.
This high tribunal is now convened. Never before have so many put aside their differences and come together in pursuit of a single goal.
Tribunal is just another fancy word for a trial, so we know this is a court proceeding.
We are gathered here today to seek justice.
They're seeking justice. Let's see if that resembles anything like justice.
Where is the accused?
Unfortunately, he's still at large.
I know that voice too. That's Kurtwood Smith.
Step forward.
He's gonna call someone a dumbass.
This is no ordinary criminal. Finding him and bringing him back will almost...
These manhunters are goose-stepping, so you know they're bad guys.
Are you prepared for that?
No man escapes the manhunters.
No man escapes the manhunters.
Show us an image of the accused.
He's a native of the planet Earth. The Green Lantern, known as Jon Stuart.
Not The Daily Show. So, what do we know so far? We know that there's some kind of crime going on. There's a trial. For whatever reason, the trial is starting even though they don't have their accused person present. It's not how we would do things in Florida or in most parts of the world, right? You're gonna have a criminal trial, you're bringing that person into court first. So let's see what they can do. I'm willing to believe that they got an arrest warrant. In Blackest Night, here we are. It looks like Earth.
Johnson kicks out the Barry at the top of the key.
The music lets you know that he's a cool guy.
And the Marauders score again!
The Marauders. I don't know what city this is. Not Gotham. Uh-oh.
Come on.
He's got a gun. Right there, that's an aggravated assault with a firearm and a robbery with a firearm, so he's looking at minimum mandatories 10 years. But Green Lantern's on the case. Stopping him with absurd ease with his power ring, lifting him up in the air. But here's the problem. He's going to arrest this guy, and the store owner's going to get his money back. But is Green Lantern going to stick around? Come on. This criminal got dropped on the ground and Green Lantern's walking away. The guy still has his gun. What a terrible, terrible move for a superhero. He misses the basket. That's a nice touch.
Time was you could have made that shot with your eyes closed.
Mr. McGee?
You're not in my history class anymore, John. Call me Al.
Guess my game's a little rusty.
Well, Chris can give you some pointers. He's my grandson.
Grandson?
You've been away a long time, John.
Maybe too long.
Okay, so we got lights and sirens on. There's an incursion. Oh, here come the manhunters. Now, I'm not going to spoil it because I read the comics and I saw this a long time ago. I know who the manhunters are, but they're basically like the cops in this situation.
Wonder Woman is on another case. Superman's dealing with an earthquake, and Batman would only say that he's busy.
This is going to be a battle of jurisdictions.
I couldn't reach him.
The Justice League, the protectors of Earth, they have no idea who these cops are, so they're obviously going to intervene.
And real short, practically shaved here, but more on top, like his.
The usual.
Ah,
Looks like you got your hands full.
He's smart, impatient, headstrong. Sort of reminds me of you.
I hope not.
Sounds like an insult.
John, you still got friends here, man. Real friends. What's bothering you?
Up until a few minutes ago, they weren't even on a first-name basis.
What in the world?
All right, here come the Manhunters.
Stop!
All right, and here come the good guys. You got Martian Manhunter
What do you want here?
against the
Jon
Manhunters.
Stuart, the Green Lantern.
What for?
That's not your concern.
wanna bet?
The Manhunters are all robots. They're robot cops, so one of them seems to be in charge. I don't know why. They're supposed to be robots.
Aren't you gonna thank me?
Down, boy.
Definitely some flirtation going on between Hawkgirl and the Flash. Wow. Now we see the Justice League do the worst fight ever. Hope they're insured. Battering a law enforcement officer. Now it's the Flash's turn.
Why do I feel like a hockey puck? Back off!
Oh, here comes Superman. I guess he's done with that earthquake. Oh, Superman's the best.
We thought you were busy with an earthquake.
It was just a 4.0. You mind telling me what's going on here?
I wish I... John! What's with that?
Stay here.
All right, now he's turning into Green Lantern. Don't know where his clothes went.
Awesome. Could he do that in high school?
No, kid, he couldn't.
Stop!
Better late than never.
You are the Green Lantern known as Jon Stuart.
I am.
Your ring.
It looks like John is just submitting to them. So this is going to be interesting. There's a question I raised earlier about the jurisdiction. You've got two different groups of law enforcement. You've got the Justice League, who are to protect Earth, but you've got the Manhunters, who are from some intergalactic tribunal or trial that are trying to capture or arrest Jon Stuart. So, but I think the question of jurisdiction is resolved because Jon Stuart seems to willingly submit to them. And look, he's an intergalactic cop himself, so he seems to understand that Earth does fall within the jurisdiction of these manhunters. He doesn't seem to question it at all that these robots from outer space are telling him to turn over the most powerful weapon in the universe, and he does so willingly, despite the mayhem and havoc that they've just caused on Earth. So the fact that he's just handing it over to me shows that he understands and submits to the legal process. Look, just takes it off. He doesn't know if they're bad robots or not.
What are you doing?
Stay out of this.
The Flash is right the entire time. He's been arrested. You'll notice they didn't read him his rights. And a lot of times because of TV, people think the opposite, that every time someone's arrested, they have to read you your rights. But that's actually a lot more accurate. Most of the time, the police don't read someone their rights when they get arrested. They're only required to read Miranda rights if someone is under a custodial interrogation, meaning they're detained and they're being questioned. But just arresting or detaining them doesn't require them to read you your rights. And we're back in court. I love it. Space court. This court really seems to be letting, the crowd have its way.
Welcome to a Juris 5, Jon Stuart.
The planet is called a Juris 5. No coincidence, Juris literally translates into law.
Don't expect your stay to be a pleasant one.
Sounds like a typical police officer. Ooh, the Guardians.
With any luck, this matter won't require our attention.
And if it does?
I don't need to tell you how much we've gained because of the Corps' diversity, but sometimes it forces us to make sacrifices.
Mysterious. All right, someone just threw rotten fruit at Jon Stuart. The police are not doing their job protecting him.
He was the best of us, that's for sure. But now...
Dallas, Argus, Kilowog, good to see you.
I wish I could say the same, Stuart.
You're a disgrace to the Corps.
Rude.
Get me out of here.
What are those other Green Lanterns even doing there to begin with?
Robot.
No, not yet.
Not yet. It's foreshadowing. Well, this is quite the jail cell.
What's next?
Your trial begins soon. If I'd been programmed with emotions, I'd almost feel sorry for you.
That sounded like he had emotions anyway. But he's going to trial, right after being arrested. That is not how it works in the real world. Here, especially in Florida, right after getting arrested, the person does go to court. We talked in another video about first appearances that happen within 24 hours after someone is arrested. But it's a long time from being arrested to going to trial. There's a discovery process. In Florida, we get to conduct depositions of the witnesses. We don't have to be ambushed when we go to trial. Obviously, on a Juris 5, they do things very, very differently. He's got a guilty look on his face.
I sense turmoil, a heavy heart.
I could have told you that.
He's looking at stars.
But which stars?
Martian Manhunter can apparently read his mind from across the universe.
That's where he is.
Why would he give them his ring? It still doesn't make any sense.
John's a strange one, that's for sure.
I'm beginning to think all you humans are.
Racist?
Sorry.
It's all right. I take it as a compliment. Initiate landing procedure.
Right. Superman's not a human.
They're not responding to our signal.
It's clear what they want. I say we give it to them.
No, we're not here to start a war. Flash, take the controls.
Superman's destroying the property belonging to the police of this planet, and apparently he's going to have no problem walking into this tribunal. Martian Manhunter just destroyed more police property.
Hawk Girl!
What? Oh, that.
Oh, that. A whole bunch of people are going to die. Superman saves the day. They just destroyed 3 cop cars filled with police, caused numerous explosions, and then are they going to crash into a trial? What do you think?
Flash, take the controls. But does anyone ask if I know how?
Flash did a good job.
Well, they say any landing you walk away from is a...
More police. Yeah, that's not really a problem for the Flash.
Starter. Which one's a starter? I had everything under control.
All right, let's go to court.
Green Lantern is close by. That way.
That's a great looking courthouse.
There is no excuse for this horror, and there can be no escape from punishment. An example must be made.
We don't even know what he did yet. What he's accused of doing. Yep, Justice League crashing into a trial. Is that going to be okay? You bet it is.
We will have honor. What is this? Some kind of trial?
Apparently.
Remove the intruders immediately.
Wait! We apologize for disrupting these proceedings, but Jon Stuart is our friend.
They should all be causing a mistrial right away. They've crashed into the trial. They actually beat their way into it. They're proclaiming to the judges, the jury, to anyone who's there, that this guy's their friend. They've already ruined the proceedings completely. And there's probably a lot of work that went into it. If I was one of the people working on this trial, I'd be pretty upset.
This is a public trial.
Very well. You may take seats in the gallery.
Oh, that's great. You just crashed your way in here, burned a hole through the dome to come into the courthouse, but it's a public trial, so you can just sit nicely. Great. Try that here. It won't go so well.
This tribunal will not tolerate any further outbursts.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, let's see about that.
Are you ready to call your first witness?
First witness for what?
I call Ken Jarreau.
We don't even know what he's charged with, right? And this is why in Florida we have a first appearance and we have an arraignment. The first appearance tells someone what they've been arrested for and whether there's probable cause to continue to hold them. An arraignment is when charges have been formally filed by the state and the judge tells the defendant, among other things, what crimes they're officially charged with, right? We have a right to know what we're going to be charged with when we go into a trial. They haven't even told Jon Stuart anything, and they're calling their first witness. This is a mockery of justice.
Kanjaro, you agree to let us probe and display any and all memories you have?
I got nothing to hide.
He's going to be probed.
State your name and profession.
Kanjaro. I'm a pirate.
A criminal? Yet you come here to bear witness to another crime. Why?
I may steal things, but it's nothing compared to what he did.
What did he do? We want to know.
Tell us about your encounter with Jon Stuart.
It all started with these blasters I found.
A good prosecutor would actually be telling everyone in advance what the charges are, what the evidence will show, and what they expect the jury, or in this case the judges, to learn and to be convinced of. He hasn't done any of that yet.
I was on my way to sell them to some rebels on the Joris 4. That's when he showed up.
This guy was just minding his own business, trying to commit some crime.
I shot first. His ring tore out my engine. But he still wasn't done with me. He wanted to know if I was working with anyone. I told him to turn around, see for himself. He tried to shoot my friends, but his beam bounced off their deflector shield and shot toward the Joris 4. There, it hit a volcanic fault line, starting a devastating chain reaction.
So this is why we really need to have lawyers, because this guy needs to be questioned properly. He's offering an expert opinion about something that he is totally not qualified to offer. And frankly, I'm not even sure that he personally witnessed and observed all of these events. Did he have a good vantage point of how Green Lantern's power ring was shooting a beam into space, bouncing off that spaceship onto another planet, landing in a lava fault line, causing that planet to explode? This guy hasn't seen any of that, and yet there's no one else calling him on his BS. This is a terrible trial, right? I would love to have the opportunity to cross-examine him.
3 billion. That's how many were on that planet.
3 billion died, but it doesn't sound like he did it on purpose.
I have no more questions.
Is intent...
This account is most disturbing. We will recess. 20...
Does intent not matter for anything? Does it not matter that that was clearly accidental? Most law, we need to prove two things. Something called the actus reus, which means the act itself, and the mens rea, which is the mental element of the crime. It's not enough that someone commit an act. They have to have the intent to do it. Now, of course, with the great diversity of crimes that we have, some of them are defined where they don't always have to have that mens rea. But we don't know what the elements of the offense are here, so how are we supposed to know what the defenses are? This is a very sloppy trial, even by Earth standards.
Pentacycles.
So they're in recess now.
Get it? You wanted to clear your name. That's why you didn't put up a fight back on Earth.
I told you to stay out of this.
That scum's an obvious liar. Give me 5 minutes alone with him, I'll get the truth.
Hawkgirl, Flash, all of you, listen to me. Nobody's lying. Do you see that? I did it. I'm guilty.
So here's a big mistake for Jon Stuart. First off, he doesn't even know what he's really guilty of. But even though the court's in recess, people got to be aware of their surroundings. And most courtrooms are going to be filled with microphones, cameras, video cameras, and of course, the people that are still in the courtroom, which may include the prosecutor or court deputies. Anything a person says can be still used against them. And people need to be aware that saying things like, "I'm guilty," while they're in the courtroom can easily be recorded and used against them. Terrible, terrible move, Jon Stuart. But I have to wonder, if he thought that he was guilty of a crime that resulted in 3 billion people dying, why did he go back to Earth and hang out with his old teacher? Strange. We're through part 1. We're through the trial. We now have a good idea of the crime that he's charged with, the death of 3 billion people. But is Green Lantern actually guilty of anything? Does intent matter? Does it matter that the person who testified against them was in the process of committing a crime that, while he was being apprehended by a space cop, resulted in the planet being destroyed? Allegedly. Allegedly. We still don't have any expert witnesses. You know, in a murder trial, even though it seems pretty obvious if someone dies, they still need a medical expert to say that they conducted an autopsy, this is the decedent, this is how they died. We've got 3 billion deaths, right? Where are the experts telling us about the remains of the planet? This is a very shoddy trial, so I hope that in part 2 we'll get some good cross-examination, and maybe we'll find out where are the lawyers, like what's going on here, because I bet if we had some lawyers involved, we'd have a better trial. So we finished part 1. I'm really excited about that. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to come back and watch part 2, right? Great thing to do is to like this video, subscribe to the channel so that when the next video comes out, when part 2 of our review of the Justice League cartoon Trial of Green Lantern returns, you'll be notified about it. So make sure you like, subscribe, share it. You take your gavel if you got it, hit the like button, and share widely. Widely, all right? I've been watching too much Green Lantern, sorry. Thank you so much.